Hi, this is Simon Candy from acousticguitarlessonsonline.net, and welcome to the third video in a three-part series that I've created for you all around a unique way of soloing using pentatonic patterns and open strings on your guitar. So if you haven't seen the first two videos in this series, then I strongly suggest you do that first, because it's going to provide you with the foundation that you need to understand what we're going to be doing in today's video. What we will be doing is taking this idea further by digging a little deeper and having a look at some really cool solo lines we can develop from this approach that we've been playing. Now, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You can generate quite a bit of speed with this approach relatively easily because of the consistency of what both your picking and fretting hands are doing throughout. And this is going to follow through to the riffs and the sequences that we are going to have a look at in today's video. So let's get straight into it. For this video, we're going to be returning to our key of E minor that we were using in the first video. And again, I'm going to be using pattern 3 in E minor, starting from the 5th fret. The pattern that falls there. Now this is a 4-note sequence across adjacent strings, and what I'll do is I'll play it for you and then we'll break it down. So here's the sequence. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm just simply going back and forth to begin with the first two strings, and when I return to that top string, I play an open. So I've got fretted note on the second string, fretted note on top, back to the same fretted note on the second string, and then an open first string. There's the open quality to our sequence here. And then I just follow or repeat that sequence following the shape of pattern 3 on each of the adjacent string sets. Okay. And again, because of the consistency of the pattern here, we can generate quite a bit of speed straight off the bat with this sequence. Now, you can either use a thumb, index approach with that regarding the picking hand, or you can use thumb, index, thumb, middle, which is the one I think I tend to prefer, but either way is fine. Now a slight, not so much variation, but another way to apply this sequence is to stay on the one string set, adjacent strings, and move horizontally up and down the patterns, or up and down your fretboard. So if I take the second and third strings here, beginning in pattern 2 of E minor, I can apply the sequence, and I can move into pattern 3, apply the sequence again, pattern 4, pattern 5, up into pattern 1, and even into pattern 2, an octave higher. Okay, so again, we can generate quite a bit of speed and get many more possibilities and combinations simply by moving horizontally up and down the one string set with the sequence that we're looking at here. To learn many more creative ways that you can create really cool solo lines using open strings on your guitar, click the link below this video and download my free ebook, which will do exactly that. You'll find many more ways apart from this approach to apply open strings to your solo lines. Okay, so the next idea I have for you is a 6-note sequence that's going to ascend pattern 3 here. So let me play it for you in full first so you can hear it, then we'll break it down. So here's the sequence. One more time. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're actually beginning with a forward banjo roll across the consecutive fretted notes in the open string, like we've been doing in the first two videos of this series. So we're simply going from the second note on the bottom string, first note on the 5th, and the open 4th string. Then in addition to that, we're doing a pull off from 7 to 5 on the 5th string and plucking the open 3rd string. So it's the forward banjo roll, then it's the thumb, which picks the 5th string, and we do the pull off, and then the middle finger plucks the open 3rd string, and that's one cycle of our sequence. 6-note sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we just move it up the pattern following the shape of pattern 3. So starting from the 5th string, we get the same sequence of notes from the 4th and from the 3rd. Okay, all together. Okay, now I can also come down with a slight variation of this sequence, descend the pattern. So I start again with the banjo roll pattern on the top 3 strings. Then I go to the 3rd string, thumb plucks that, and I do a pull off from 7 down to 4, and then open 2nd string. And then I go to my 4th string and repeat that sequence, just following the shape of the pattern. Then to my 5th string, and finally the 6th. Okay, so descending. Okay, and if I put them together, Alright, so that is another sequence that we can not just apply to pattern 3, but we can apply to pattern 4. Okay, so all these sequences can be applied to any of the pentatonic patterns. I'm just demonstrating them using pattern 3. Now, another idea for creating solo lines using this approach is to play a banjo roll of sorts. We are, after all, and have been throughout this series, using the forward and backward banjo roll patterns in our picking hand. So what we do for a banjo roll is take 3 strings. In this case, I'm going to take the top 3 strings of pattern 3, and we rotate the pattern that we've been doing for most of our open string pentatonic approach, like this. Okay, now when you do this banjo roll, or you do banjo rolls, you want to make sure you don't fall into the trap of playing triplets. So we don't want to hear this sound. Or, we don't want that. That's rhythmically incorrect. We want a feel of 2. We've got a 3-note repeating pattern, but we want to feel it in 2, in 8 notes, 2 to each beat. So we want this sort of rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's the sound that we're after with the banjo roll. Now, that sounds cool in one area, one part of the guitar, but we can take that and play it all over the place. So I could stay on the same string set, the top 3 strings, and play it in pattern 2, pattern 3 of course, pattern 4, pattern 5, pattern 1, okay, and so forth. And I could connect them together in all sorts of ways, something like this perhaps. And you can move any which way you like with any string set there. So lots of possibilities with a banjo roll approach. For more ideas to create really cool, awesome sounding solo lines using open strings in your guitar playing, click the link below this video and download my free ebook, which will take this idea of adding open strings into your solo lines much, much further. So do that. Let me now demonstrate each of these solo ideas that we've had a look at in today's video in a more musical context for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play each idea over a backing track. However, this backing track is actually in G major, and E minor and G major are related to each other. So you'll find that in this context, we're not going to be hearing the key of E minor, we're going to be hearing the key of G major. So we get a lot of versatility with these licks when we can apply them in different ways. So have a listen, you'll hear them being applied in a little bit more of a musical context over this backing track. Okay, great. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and the series as a whole, all videos 1, 2, and 3, with our pentatonic and open string soloing approach. Don't forget to click the link below the video for more creative and unique ways to include open strings into your solo lines on the acoustic guitar by downloading my free ebook there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already to receive notifications of all upcoming videos that will be coming out. Visit my website, acousticguitarlessonsonline.net, where you'll find many more free resources all to do with acoustic guitar. Thanks again for watching the video. I hope you get a lot out of it. I hope you apply it in all sorts of ways in your solo lines on guitar, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.